Haitians are always on the right side of history. I don't care what nobody say. So you telling me that ICE came to Brooklyn, specifically Little Haiti, Flatbush, kote all Haitians you leave? I guess ICE was trying to detain the Haitians over there, and the Haitians were not going for it. I think that people forget that we were the first ones to be freed. My people got a taste of slavery and said, we can't do this. Wrap this up by tonight. We did. If there's anything that we know Haitian people are known for doing, is fight for what they believe in. And they done beat ICE the fuck up and ran them out of the hood. As they should. Yup, the Haitians beat up ICE. So you can see right here, recent ICE operations in Brooklyn have intensified, particularly in Little Haiti and East Flatbush, sparking community resistance and safety concerns. Y'all see how many people came outside? ICE, you need some ice. You're outnumbered. Yes, they fought them with their hands and feet and baton and whatever else they could find. Probably a sandal. Somebody probably even had a belt. Point is, you don't fuck with Haitian and every other minority group. Let this be a lesson. You have hands and feet. Use them. And due to all these Haitians that came out and stood together, they successfully ran ICE out of Flatbush. Because we own Flatbush. Fuck is you talking about? We have a whole neighborhood in that bitch. Little Haiti. Y'all got some nerve. I mean, as the Haitians say, and it's literally on our flag, l'union fait la force. And fait l'union, fait force, et puis bat you.
ICE getting their ass whooped, baby, in Brooklyn by the Haitian community. Y'all didn't learn your lesson from your ancestors when they got whooped by the Haitian slaves back in the 1800s? Uh-oh!
Y'all, I just saw a crazy fucking video. Apparently, ICE agents thought that they was about to come to Brooklyn to just go ahead and snatch up some Haitian people like they've been doing to Mexican people. Y'all gotta see the video. The Haitian people was whooping they ass. They was not going for it. They said, not ours, not today. Y'all, the video is crazy. The way they're jumping on them. It's, y'all should have known better. Y'all came to Brooklyn and decided y'all wanted to sit there and snatch Haitian people up off the street like y'all been doing in fucking in all those other states with the Mexicans and the Hispanic. Y'all thought that was gonna go down in New York City? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? And that's exactly the way that the rest of y'all should be fucking acting. Y'all Hispanic people out there just letting them snatch y'all up off the street and y'all not fighting back. Y'all just complying. Like, fight back! Now, I bet you they think twice about trying that shit again, huh? Yeah.
I'm so freaking proud of the Haitian community. This is how you do it. If we all did exactly what they did, we could do this. We got to stand together. All I've been saying is fight back. Do not let them get you. ICE agents aren't ICE agents. If they were actually ICE agents, if they're just people with masks and just doing this shit because they can, then why are we not able to fight back? I know why we can't, because everybody's afraid they're going to get in trouble. They're going to go to jail. They're going to get arrested. Something's going to happen to their family. They're going to lose their job, and then they're not going to be able to feed their family. They're going to lose their house. Basically, one wrong move, and the whole fucking house of cards falls down. But what's better? Being homeless and jobless and possibly not being able to take care of your family? Or being picked up and taken to a concentration camp, a detention center, fucking whatever you want to call it. We all know what it is. Not everybody's there yet, but it's fucked up.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're watching us from. As you know, I'm your host and presenter Agent Stories. Well, I'm hoping that you're doing fine. Now, there's something really important. At least there is a leap of hope to all marginalized groups and all other groups that are failing here to be a target. I know for the longest time, ICE raids have been one of the most devastating things to ever tell anybody who is living in America, whether documented and undocumented, whether citizen or non-citizen. Because sometimes you could be a citizen, but at the end of the day, when they come to you, they don't want to hear any explanation. Now, just recently, the ICE raids that were being done in Brooklyn turned out to be something else. At least it was a beacon of faith that we still have people that can stand in business and send a message to all these oppressors that, you know what, we have people that can still fight for themselves. Now, The recent incident in Brooklyn where ICE agents were physically resisted by Haitian immigrants has become more than a local altercation. It is a profound act of political symbolism. The event represents a psychological shift in how immigrants and marginalized communities in America understand their power. For years, ICE raids has operated under the assumption of fear-induced silence, but when Haitians in Brooklyn responded not with submission but with resistance, they shattered that expectation. It showed that even under the threat of deportation, people can assert dignity, agency, and community defense. This is really important what Haitians try to do, because they shed a light to all these factors, all this fear that the ICE raids have been giving, all the ICE raids have been having towards people. Now, I want to rate this video. It is really, really important. And I think this is a new start for all marginalized groups who are living in the gaze that one day they might wake up in the morning being deported. Because all these deportations are now getting out of hand. They're not making sense, right? So let's watch the video. I'll be back and then we'll be sharing our thoughts. As you know that ICE raids, all those ICE agents, they're learning that in Brooklyn, dealing with Haitians was not business as usual. So let's get back into the video. I'll be back and then we'll have a discussion in regards to this. Let's watch.
Fucking great news today. Fucking great news. So ICE decided to go to Brooklyn earlier. And they decided, to go into a random neighborhood and try to play snatchies with some Haitians. Well, all I gotta say is, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. Props to my Haitians. They fucking whooped ICE's ass. They took them down. They said, fuck, nah. You not doing this in my neighborhood. Get the fuck out of here. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. Us as Latinos, we need to stick together and we need to fight ICE. We need to fight. Especially if you guys are in the position to do so. If you guys are like legal here, that's even more the reason. At least for me, I would say. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. But once again, props to the Haitian community. Love to see that. Props to Brooklyn, New York for standing up to ICE. Share the video for awareness, my loves. This is fantastic news. Be safe out there, my loves. I love you. Great. Fantastic.
So ICE got their ass beat by some Haitians in Brooklyn. And that just goes to show you, bro, it's a reason why we were the first African nation to free ourselves from slavery, fam. It's a reason these people won't take up with your shit, fam. If they tired of it, they tired of it. That's it, fam. And for those of y'all wondering, damn, why don't y'all just go to your country if y'all just want to be violent and shit? Bro, if you don't understand the history that Haitians have with America, fam, most of us never really wanted to leave our country. We just were forced to do so because America rid us of our resources and then they forced us into poverty. So now that we come in here to this country because that's all the options we have, y'all want to force us back and rid us of more resources, fam? Nah, bro. Some people would rather go ahead and get themselves off rather than sit there and go back to that poverty. That's real poverty. Y'all don't understand what real poverty is until you have to sit there and not be able to take care of yourself, your kids, your family. None of it, bro. Nobody's going back to that shit willingly, fam. I don't blame them. I'll fight too. All that to say, man, y'all Mexicans need to learn how to put hands on them people, bro. Fight back, bro. Fight back. Get up.
So I saw a couple videos of Haitians actually fighting back against ICE. ICE is in the Haitian community trying to kidnap some people, and the Haitians were literally fighting back, pulling ICE off of their people, throwing them to the ground, escorting their people away from them. Anytime ICE would grab somebody, the people would hop on that ICE agent and throw them to the ground. They were literally fighting back. And this honestly makes sense because what you said is so true. There are people that would rather die fighting to stay here than go back to a country where they're going to do nothing but suffer. And for the people that are gonna, well, why is their country nothing but suffering? Because of America. America destabilized the country, planted corrupt regimes, and then wonder why you have people fleeing the country to come over here looking for freedom. Then they're gonna take the people that fled from the mess that they created and try to ship them back there. I wish I could show you guys some of the videos that I saw of the Haitian people fighting back, but all those videos seem to get removed immediately. They don't want us watching videos of people fighting back against ICE. The numbers, Mason, the numbers. What did they
deported to Haiti today attacked pilots and immigration officers on another flight after it landed in Port-au-Prince. So the plane carrying single adult men were released from the aircraft to Haitian authorities on the airport tarmac. Then NBC News reports several of those men stormed another recent.
ICE can't hide from us because we definitely here for our people. Today we stand in solidarity with the immigrants. We pulled up to this detention center back here, and we at Basile at the moment to make the same stance. We trying to hit them hard, directly. We understand the struggle because we've been through the struggle with our ancestors and whatnot, so we stand in solidarity with them to let them know that they're not alone, and everybody ain't trying to kick them out. When it comes to the immigrants, they really want to have them to a place where they know nobody can come and show them any kind of support. Their families can't even come to see them. There's also something they've been doing in the penitentiary system around the country. Most prison yards you go to, they're going to be isolated in a small town. There's nothing around here, for folks to really stay the night. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. I wish you could see it, but it's woods, and that street coming down the street is just a narrow road. It's like it's not meant for nobody to be seen or nothing. And that's one reason. Another reason why we out here to show them that regardless of where they put them, we coming. And we coming deep, busloads. The goal that they have set in mind is to take your dignity, take your humanity away from you. I spent 12 years in that penitentiary system. But some of these prisons, air don't work, and it's summertime and it's blazing hot. So they have to sit in there in that condition, and that's bad in itself. It's really illegal. It's really something that should be fought against. It's something that we should stand in solidarity against, whether we are a victim of it or we know somebody who is a victim of it, which everybody falls in those categories. I want them to know that we're ready. We're ready to take on the fight that they're trying to bring to us. And we're not about to sit there and just allow it to happen and be closed-mouthed about it. This is over 2 million people in just the union that we represent, plus other unions, plus other family and friends that's associated with us. The country, the world is saying the same thing. The only people who don't get it is these politicians and these big finance companies or whoever. It show that we strong, we organize, and we discipline, and we can move. And we can move at a drop of a dime. And they should be worried about that, because at the end of the day, every time they make a wrong move, we're going to step behind that.
Did you see the Haitians stand up and fight back against ICE?
Chicago wasn't founded by a Haitian? Who said that? Why is the statue so small? Why do we only have one in the city of Chicago? Why don't we have them on the west side, on the south side, on the north side, everywhere? Why are we not educating people on the founder of this city? It should be in all school curriculums. We're standing here right now next to the statue of Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, the founder of Chicago, who settled here in Chicago and created the first trade post in this beautiful city. So let's talk about Haitian greatness. Let's talk about the founder of Chicago, a brother, African, Haitian, Caribbean, for the people, from the people. Big up Chicago, black founded city. Let's stand on it. Let's speak the truth. All power to the people. One love. Bless up. Big up, man. All power to the people. We up. Let's go.
So check me out. ICE went to Brooklyn and tried to deport Haitian community, people in the Haitian community, and they weren't going. And if you look at the videos that's flooding social media, one of the things I want the black people to realize is that this is how we're supposed to navigate anybody coming into our communities and beating down, dragging and hanging and all these other crazy stuff that's going on across the United States. This is how we're supposed to be utilizing our unity to prevent this stuff from happening. They're not going back into that neighborhood without having some form or fashion of military equipment and gear and whatever the case may be. They're going to have to really get the whole 1% of that city or state to go into that neighborhood. Now, this is what I want to bring to everybody's attention. The United States have the policing of maybe close to 1% of the population. And if you're talking about 1% of the population, we're not even talking about 300,000, 400,000 individuals across the whole United States as police officers. You see what I'm saying? We got 43 to 48 million black individuals walking on this continent, or, North America. Anyway, so my question is this. Why are we letting this small percentage of people dictate how we move? Why are we letting this small percentage of people hang our people, beat our people, incarcerate our people for nothing, for absolutely nothing? And so, I'm saying come together. I'm saying unite. I'm saying, lock in with people that surround you in your community. Love on each other, and know, hey, look, the houses, the cars, and all that other stuff, man, they cool, and it's solid to have, and it's fun to operate in this beautiful society when it's operating the way it should. But when it's not, it's time to make sure we course correct. A lot of people are afraid to stand up like the Haitian community stood up because they're afraid of losing their homes, their cars, and all this other stuff. But guess what? One thing, Haitians were not going to be in prison and not going to be sent to concentration camps and be put in position of servitude and slavery and all this other oppression. They said, look, we rather fight and die than to be sent back to a mess or treated like a mess. And so my question is, are we going to stand up? Are we going to unify? And I've seen a lot of groups out there, y'all. It's a lot of groups out there. So when I talk about all the groups, I'm talking about the NAACP. I'm talking about what is it? Hebrew Israelites. I'm talking about the Alphas, the Kappas, the Omegas, the Sigmas, the Iotas. I'm talking about the Bloods, the Crips, the folks, the GDs, all of them. I'm talking about everybody out there that is a group of brotherhood black men who's standing up for those black men in that brotherhood. And what I would like to see is everybody come together. Somebody sit at a round table and we start navigating in each city. Starting the big metropolitan cities, man. And I'm confident that the way the minds are working right now and how everybody's moving right now and the climate that we're living in, that this would be on a whole nother level, and it's going to change the trajectory of history for black and brown people in our communities. So big shout out to Haitians, man. Keep protecting the people that you love and care about. Don't let just anybody come up, even if they got a police on their chest. Don't let them just come up, man. I'm telling you, there's 9 bullets in that chamber, 10, 12 at the max in that chamber, and you got to get it out the holster. And if they come in with those things, you know what I'm saying? I'm not promoting violence, man, but what I'm saying is that if they're coming at you violently, and there's 50 people, that one gun ain't gonna do nothing. In fact, they're gonna think about whether or not they should pull it out, because it's to their detriment if they did, So anyway, 1 to 50, 1 to 20, you know what I'm saying? Look, there's power in numbers, man. Stay unified, stay connected. There's a lot of us out there. All we have to do is lock up. And so let's get connected. If that's something y'all interested in, man, y'all holler at me. I got some plans. I got some views, and I want to connect with every black man in the United States who's looking to create unity and a more structured and empowered community for our people. Love y'all. I'll see y'all at the top.
These illegal immigrants are lazy, they're not working, then why is ICE showing up to work sites that are known to have disproportionate amounts of immigrants? These immigrants don't care about traditional American values, family values. Why are they showing up to elementary school graduations and ripping kids away from their parents? They don't pay taxes, they don't contribute. Undocumented immigrants paid more in taxes than billionaires did. would be fine if they just immigrated the right way, then why are ICE agents showing up to immigration court and picking people up outside the court for trying to do it the right way? Oh, they're all criminals and I just want criminals out of my country. Undocumented immigrants are statistically less likely to commit crime than natural-born citizens. Well, they immigrated illegally, so that's a crime and they're a criminal. Undocumented entry into the United States is not a criminal offense. Existing in the United States without documentation is not a criminal offense. These people come up with lie after lie, myth after myth to justify their support for Trump and MAGA Republican mass deportations. But none of these lies or myths make any sense because it's not about legality. It's not about doing it the right way. It's not about family values. It's not about taxes. It's not about welfare. They're not from the right place, or they don't look the right way, or they don't speak the right language, or they don't have the right qualifications. What is happening in LA right now and around the country with mass protest against these mass deportations is an example of what happens when the people of the United States recognize that the government of the United States is not serving the people.
Breaking news this afternoon. Donald Trump and Homeland Security have eliminated TPS for Haiti, leaving millions and millions of Haitians with no legal status in this country. This is so inhumane. Trump came on one of his tweets or whatever stating that Haiti has become a much better place. It's a lot safer so that the people could go back to their country. This is absolutely disgusting, unacceptable. You can't just mess with people's lives like that and take away something that they've worked for to come here legally. Your whole thing was you were getting rid of fucking criminals. These are not criminals. They did things the right way. They're here legally now. Guys, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Please spread this for awareness. This is disgusting. Disgusting on this fucking Friday evening. God bless our country. God bless us all, my loves. We're going to need it. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck his administration. And fuck all the morons that voted for him. Have a great day, guys. I love you. Be safe.
See, my thing is, I don't know why they up here playing with Haitians like Haitians ain't beat the hell out of them when they try to put them in slavery. Y'all remember the revolution? You know what's in their DNA, and trauma stays in the genes. Trauma stays in the genes. So, you know, I don't know if y'all want to really mess with the Haitians, because Haitians is warmongers. Don't let the little cutesy soft-spoken accents fool you. Haitians bring war when you bring oppression to their doorstep. I think we should leave the Haitians alone. Well, not me, because I really already deal with Haitians. But y'all people that's trying to mess with them Haitians over there, you refrigerator people, pick your battles wisely. Pick your battles. Pick your battles. That's all I'm gonna say. Pick them. Now when you got to root up your ass, don't cry because you didn't know what was gonna happen to you. Okay, keep playing with the Asian.
How come ICE isn't chasing the white immigrants? How come ICE isn't chasing the immigrants from Russia, Poland, Europe? How come? It's not about race, it's not about skin, but here we are.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're watching me from. As you know, I'm your host and presenter Authentic Stories. Well, I'm hoping that you're doing great, you're doing fine from wherever you're watching me from. There's one thing that I want to address. For the longest time, the American system have always been using fear as a tool of oppression and suppression, which has now been cracked. And being cracked by who? By Haitians. ICE authorities have always relied on psychological warfare. The idea that they can raid homes, workplaces, and communities at will, and no one will resist. This belief is now being challenged. The Haitians' pushback didn't just disrupt an ICE operation, it broke a spell. It revealed that fear, when confronted by collective resistance, loses some of its grip. For other marginalized groups, Latinos, undocumented Asians, Africans, even working class whites, these incidents becomes a reference point. It tells them, you are not helpless. Resistance is not only possible, it can be powerful. And I think this time it really helped to reveal all these important factors. That sometimes in a situation where you feel like the government is trying to press on you, it's trying to suppress you, the only thing that you have is to rise up, and fight, is to rise up and stand for your community, is to rise up and fight for your own folks, right? Let's talk about 80s revolution's legacy. We want to revisit the revolution because we have people who understand history, the history of Haitians, what they have done, how they fought for their justice. Really, really important. Now, to understand the significance of this act of defiance, one must look at 80s revolution's roots. Haiti is the first nation in the modern world to be founded by formerly enslaved people who overthrew the colonial oppressors. The Haitians Revolution 1791 to 1804, led by figures like Toussaint Louverture, Jean Jacques, Dessalines, and others, was a radical, unprecedented act of black liberation that shook the foundation of the Atlantic slave system. The spirit of that revolution, resisting unjust authority, defended black dignity, and asserting that rights to self-determination was alive in Brooklyn during that ICE confrontation. These people fought slavery, and they come with movements like the anti-slavery movement that really fought from them being used to work like a slave. They're a group of people, they're a group of black people, by the way, that really fought these with a lot of power. The pushback that they gave still recorded in history. I'm also going to be talking about the political weight of Haitians' identity in the U.S. Haitians in America have often faced dual forms of marginalization, racialized as black in a white-dominated society and criminalized as immigrants in xenophobic state. Yet they have a unique political conscience shaped by 80s history. They don't just see themselves as migrants. They see themselves as inheritors of a proud legacy of anti-colonial resistance. They refuse to allow ICE to carry out deportations in Brooklyn, and this reflects a deeper understanding of justice, liberation, and resistance. Right? It's a challenging to white supremacy and American imperial arrogance. The American imperial arrogance thought that you could just send ICE agents everywhere and just think that this is just business as usual. Well, it turns out that there is more. And I think this is a message to Latinos. This is a message to black people generally. This is a message to Asian community. Because Asians, what they're showing right now is standing up in business. And I think that's really, really important. And the message that they shared out there, really, really outstanding because it motivates people to stand up for their rights, right? Let's talk about the inspiration for the broader immigrant movement. Yes, there's an inspiration really that we really can talk about. This movement can serve as a catalyst for other immigrant groups who often feel voiceless in the face of state violence. The visibility of Haitians' resistance can be emboldened undocumented Mexicans, Central Americans, Filipinos, Africans, and others who remain in hiding. Fearing exposure, solidarity grows not just from shared struggle, but from visible acts of courage. The Haitians' defiance by not change federal policy overnight, but it injects momentum into a broader resistance movement that demands dignity and legal reform. Also, ICE as an arm of domestic colonialism. Scholars like Asha Walia and Naomi Murakawa have described immigration enforcement as part of broader carceral state that treats black and brown bodies as threats to be neutralized. ICE in this framework functions like a colonial policy force, invading neighborhoods, extracting people, and instilling terror and fear. What happened in Brooklyn disrupts this colonial structure when a community collectively rejects the legitimacy of ICE authority. It delegitimizes not just the agents themselves, but the ideology behind them. Let's talk about psychological liberation as a precursor to political action. Frantz Fanon, in his book, The Wretched of the Earth, normally emphasizes that liberation begins in the mind. Once the colonized subjects realizes that the fear can be defeated, they begin to act in a new revolutionary ways. That's what we witnessed in Brooklyn. Haitians didn't just physically push ICE out, they psychologically rejected the premise that the state has right to uproot them. This kind of mental decolonization is contagious. It fuels organizing, legal resistance, and long-term structural challenges to oppressive systems. Also, there is an intersectionality and solidarity across movements. Black Haitians resistance ICE embodies the intersection of immigrant rights and racial justice. The struggle mirrors that of African American fighting police brutality, Latinos battling deportation, and Muslims resisting surveillance. These overlapping oppressions are not isolated, they are part of the same machinery. The more people see these connections, the more likely movements will unite. The resistance in Brooklyn therefore strengthens the case of cross-movement solidarity. Immigrants, Black Americans, indigenous people, and poor whites building coalition against shared system of domination. Also, I like to talk about the symbolic collapse of white control. What ICE faced in Brooklyn was not just a tactical failure. It was a symbolic collapse for decades. The American state has operated on assumption that black bodies, especially immigrant black bodies, can be dominated without consequences. That narrative is being rewritten. Haitians descended from enslaved people who defeated Napoleon once again show that black resistance is not possibly, it is inevitable. It's a warning to institutions that have long played on vulnerable communities. Your power is not absolute. Now, the main important for also doing this video is this is a vision towards, a vision of belonging and resistance. The Brooklyn confrontation marks a shift from fear-based survival to assertive belonging. These immigrants are not hiding. They are defending their rights to live, to stay, and to build future. That shift matters. It's not just about fighting ICE. It's about reclaiming space, asserting voice, and challenging the nation to reckon with its hypocrisy. America says it's the land of the free, but it cages immigrants and terrorizes poor communities. Haitians' resistance bring that contradiction into the spotlight, and there's other to rise too. This is a call for the usually oppressed groups. For the longest time, you have kept silence. I think this is time for you to put on a fight. I'm your host and presenter, Eugene Talk Stories. But until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.